Time Temple. We all know about the Temple of Time and Ocarina of Time, obviously. However, what this theory extends to was speculation that there's an actual, level contained within the Temple of Time, hence Time Temple. I mean, it makes sense that people would speculate and look for this. It always was a mysterious, odd thing from the other temples. Funnily enough, Twilight Princess fully proved that this actually is a thing in universe. Inside Unagis Tunnel, this is one that personally made me wonder myself when I was playing the game for the first time. In Super Mario 64, y'all know Unagi, that giant eel who scared off the kids, and how he emerges from a tunnel. He goes through it, yet when you try to swim through it, you cannot do that. So many people wondered how exactly you can get in here. Of course, looking at game files shows that there's really nothing behind there, but there was no way of knowing that at the time. And to go back to precise copy stuff, there's a lot of people who swore that they did manage to find a way to get through there before and find either a star or a new level. Rainbow Cap Switch. We've already talked about secret cap switches before, but this is another popular theory or speculation saying that there's a rainbow colored cap switch which will unlock either all of the caps or a special one which contains the power of all of them, or both, mainly the middle or latter exception one. And yeah, this is another instance of people swearing that they saw this before as a kid, and there's even been made rooms for how it would look like, and I mean, it's a pretty fun idea to have. Bombon Village. This was relatively obscure, but then got really popular with the big boom of the Iceberg. Simply being put is that there's a level inside the game, again, many of which people have claimed to see before as a small child, where it's like Bob-Omb Battlefield, but a bit more, peaceful and nice, and it's a village with friendly Bob-Ombs and other things to do, and the return of the Womp King, I'm sure, or a prince, which this is more associated with. And there's that one screenshot of the guy in the sombrero that some people lead to say is that, but it's not 100% yet. Cold Crevice. Yet another Super Mario 64 secret level, and this comes from the sign in the first ice level. I keep on forgetting the name, I feel so stupid. It was that the sign warning you that danger, there's a cold crevice below. And so people took this as that being a secret area, and a lot like to think that it really is an area in the game where rumors sprung among. Again, some people just say that it's them having fun with alliteration, but as I've said before in other videos, not related to this series, is that the capitalization makes it a proper noun, and thus people like to think that it's more of an actual area. It's a subconscious thing. Creepy Castle Pillar. I actually already talked about this in the previous video when talking about Donkey Kong 64 oddities. And there's a pillar in Creepy Castle, and it's supposedly just there to aim at a banana balloon, but it's so detailed, and yeah, I went over this already. But I forgot that was an entry of its own, and also that this really did captivate people a lot. In fact, out of everything I mentioned in there, this is probably the one that stands up to people the most, thinking that it must serve some other purpose. 64th Pokemon / Ekans. In Pokemon Snap, there's a total of 63 Pokemon. Weird, right? It would make sense to have one more because Nintendo 64. And beta content shows Ekans was meant to be in there, but was cut for unknown reason, which is why he's added on here as the speculated 64th one. Of course, the theme of this being that back in the day, people had no way of knowing about this, so we assume that there are some sort of secret 64th Pokemon to find. Great Jinjo. In BanjoTooie, you collect multiple colored Jinjos throughout the entire game. Once you get to the village for the first time, you see that sadly Great Jinjo's house was bulldozed. However, if you look at the pause screen, there's actually a space missing egregiously, like with the 24th cheat code, where Great Jinjo would go. So, of course, people thought maybe Great Jinjo is still out there somewhere waiting to be collected with some special reward. Adult Mask. Beta content of Majora's Mask shows that there's going to be an adult mask before being supposedly replaced with the Fierce Deity. That would allow you to become Adult Link, but they found it to just be too useless since he could already use every item as a kid. However, people who played the game for the first time without even knowing about that speculate if there's a way to play as Adult Link, considering that it was a direct sequel of Ocarina of Time and he was nowhere to be found with only young Link being around. Scroll of Gameplay. This is an item that's mentioned in the manual for Donkey Kong 64, saying that Cranky claims that you can find it somewhere. It may just be a joke, but maybe he was telling the truth and hinting at some sort of special item to get in the game. Great Garter Grapple. Likewise, this is another area mentioned in the Donkey Kong 64 manual, but it's more fun to speculate on this one because this one would be a whole entire level. Which, yeah, you get the point. People wonder if it's actually in the game and if you can find it somewhere. Second Secret Aquarium. This is another overlooked entry on the Super Mario 64 Iceberg because people aren't very sure what it means. However, more has risen up on over the time, and people like to believe that it's referring to yet another secret aquarium level. And yeah, that's a cool thing because the water levels are really pretty in that game, and there's a lot of secret nooks and crannies in the castle where you could hide this, including secret floors. Ooh. Lake Hylia claw marks. This doesn't necessarily lead too much into like a new item or temple or anything, unless if you want to say that it'll lead you on some adventure with the mystery of trying to find out what caused this. But this is like the first like odd observation, sort of like the creepy castle pillar. But just for Ocarina of Time, and if you go to Lake Hylia, you see on the big tree over there, it is that there's giant claw marks on it. I actually didn't notice those for the longest time, but when I first did, I was like, whoa, wait, what are those? And this is just simply speculation and mystery on where exactly they came from. Bomberman 64 Invisible Path. We're gonna real quick just get some theories out of the way for like less played games, like not obscure per se, but just like much less like highlighted ones. And starting with Bomberman 64 is the most curious case where in the volcano level you can walk on a totally invisible pathway and it'll lead to some opening where you can't like walk into either. Apparently they were going to put that something there, of course, but I guess they just completely forgot to remove it from the game entirely and confused a lot of people back in the day. Glover Castle Top. Sort of likewise, but in Glover, once the castle is fully restored, if you use cheats to float all the way to the top of it, you'll notice that there's an opening at the top of the castle. However, you cannot enter it, and this led people to wonder if there's any intent for it ever. Equipable Majora's Mask. Aside from the previous mentioned Cuckoo, this is probably the most speculative thing that people wondered about and tried doing and wanted to do back in the day when this was out, and it's just simply equipping Majora's Mask itself. Gotta collect all of those masks, like this is the only one you can't touch aside from the boss ones, which you sort of collect anyway. And then the Caffeine and Juice Mask, which transforms into the Couples Mask, but I guess that one's like a bit of a different scenario. But I mean, of course people want to experience the whole entire power of Majora, and you can kind of do it in Hyrule Warriors as Skull Kid. Add him to Smash, please. But yeah, this makes sense as something that you would want to explore playing the game for the first time, especially at a young age. Golden Faucet. So, there's a little obscure game, and in there it's impossible to collect everything because there's a glitch that keeps you from grabbing the golden faucet, and I'm really annoyed that they would overlook this, and it's such a weird thing to not actually program in and finish, and like, I mean, it's kind of unbelievable. The game is Space Station Silicon, by the way. I should have started with this. I've never actually played it yet myself, but I include this anyway because I'm sure anybody who did back in the day was really fucking confused by this, and I mean, it still baffles me to this day that was allowed to happen, but yeah, it's a mystery. It's the most mystery of this entire series. But yeah, that does it there. This surprisingly went a bit quick, but that's fine, and I'll see you all next time where we talk about other entries that are like this, but a bit more obscure. See you then.